question I ask everybody that comes on here because it's so cool to kind of take it back to like a younger version of yourself. Where did you first fall in love with music? Whether it was like a time, a place, a moment with music that you were like, I'm really in love with this.
I was actually a theater kid, and when I was younger, even like 10, me and my dad would go up to New York because I'm from Virginia, and we would see shows on Broadway. And I remember when like Mean Girls, the musical came out, that was a while ago, and I was obsessed with that. I have been obsessed with Disney when I was a kid too. Like I loved the princess songs and kind of fell in love with it that way because I was like, this is so beautiful and I've seen so many shows on Broadway, and I would just be like mesmerized as I'm watching it. And I still consume so much Broadway content, and it taught me how to sing because I wanted to replicate what they were doing, and I was just obsessed.
Love that too, because I think a lot of people that don't necessarily always bring up Broadway or bring up that, but like I guess if you were trying to learn how to sing, or even I think maybe just I'm not a singer, but like the breath work too, like Broadway, like that
Sure.
can really be something you can learn. And I think I have so much respect for anybody that's a singer or anything because like when I try and sing or like I'm at a concert and like I hear myself back, I'm like, yeah, that's why you do this. You don't do that because you're just awful. But that's so amazing. Like even like Disney too, when you think about that. Like I almost think about like seeing your like with the Homicide, I'm like, that would be like a Disney like almost like villain. You know what I mean? Like an Ursula
Oh yeah.
almost. Like I love that.
Yeah, definitely. I've taken a Disney villain approach to a lot of my songs. Even my biggest song, Happy Ending, was very Disney and whimsical, inspired by all the princess stories. And it kind of is that like pessimistic, negative turn on it, but still in a fun way where you're kind of like, this doesn't feel evil or anything.
Yeah. And it's like it's also showing like you can either be whimsical and then you can have like the look of Homicide too. Like you can be both. You don't have to like have it one way. And that's what I loved when I was like, I love this new era you're in a little bit where it's like yeah, this is gonna hit with so many people and even myself, like younger version of me and even me now, I'm like, we need more of that. Like I love Sabrina Carpenter. I love all that look too, but
Me too.
something about seeing this look is really cool. And I know like for you, music has always been like an outlet for you, in a way to express emotions. Like how has that outlet shifted as you've gotten older and that relationship with music?
Yeah, well, I used to sing really just for fun, and it wasn't a career. And sometimes, if you're doing something full time, you can lose the joy for it, but that never happened for me. It just grew and grew and grew. I'm like, I am so into the music, and my relationship with it is like, it's my favorite thing to do ever. And I love planning for all the singles too. I'm kind of insane and make PowerPoints of hair, styling, makeup, content for like each single, and I plan out exactly what my vision is, and I have so much fun in the creative aspect. So instead of doing it for fun, I turned it into like this creative outlet that is also my job that is still so much fun for me, and I can just like pour out what my heart feels about the song. I'll just listen to it over and over and over again on a loop and then do whatever my brain thinks.
I love that too. Like there's a lot more, I think even people hearing that, there's a lot more that goes into it. And you can tell like you really take care of that as well. And I know you've also said in the past of how music has been positive for your mental health and like specifically songwriting. And that's kind of like what my whole show is how music is a catharsis for people that create it, people that listen to it. For you, how has like the safety of like songwriting helped you in your mental health?
I think it's a great way to express what you're feeling. And I always say that it helps me to pinpoint exactly what feeling I have. Because sometimes my brain is so jumbled, and I'm sure other people's are too, that you don't even know what you're feeling. You could just be overwhelmed or stressed out. And even like with my song Fear of Going Out, we didn't go into the studio with that idea. I kind of just went with what I was feeling, and that I didn't want to go out, and I was having a hard time talking to people. And I really was being a homebody and very introverted. And it kind of turned into this idea that I had a fear of going out, quote unquote. And it all spiraled into that one feeling. And I was like, oh, I think I am just a little introverted, and that's okay. And I like sharing because other people can feel the same way. And I get off my chest, and then they get to understand and know that somebody else out there feels the way they do.
Yeah, I love that because that's like with me, the people I gravitate towards as songwriters are those that I see myself in. And I'm like, yeah, I feel that way too. I'm not alone in that. And I think it's really cool. And I loved hearing that because I'm like, Yeah, like if that's a catharsis for me listening to that, for the songwriter, it is. And I think too, you're someone that has such a big following, a massive following on the internet. And the internet can be such a tough place. Like even for me, like on the smaller scale, there's some times where I'm just like, all right, I need to turn it off. Or like you get one mean comment. So like for you so far in this and now putting out music, how do you really kind of preserve your self-worth when like, maybe people are just mean on the internet? Like how do you really just keep that self-worth piece?
Honestly, I'm a hard ignorer because I don't get as much hate now. I've definitely grown a lot in my music career and proved to people that this is what I want to do. But when I first started, they were so mean to me and they kind of don't leave room for you to improve. But I take everything with a grain of salt because you're never going to know until you put yourself out there and try something. And you have to try and like have those bad moments to improve. And even I look back on my covers from years ago and I'm like, those were not the best, but at the time I was just so headstrong about getting better and that this is what I wanted to do that I ignored them. I'll delete comments if they really hurt my feelings too, because I'm like, this is my video and my comment section, and I don't want you being negative in it, and that will make them mad too. They come back and they're like, you deleted it. I'm like, yes, because you
Hmm.
are mean, and I don't love that on my videos. So I try to ignore them or delete them, block them.
Yeah, it's kind of almost like taking back that power in a sense, right? That like, yeah, this is your page and you're allowed to do that. And I think that's kind of just saying like, listen, you can, I mean, the internet is a big place. Like we get it. I get it. Like it's not always going to be a positive thing, but it's just creating that positive space by getting, out of sight, out of mind. And I always wondered that, like how people with a big platform, then, you have music out there and they're going to nitpick it. But I think like at the end of the day, it seems like you really love what you're putting out there. And like that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I definitely do. I'm always obsessed with my singles that I put out. I'm like, I'm my biggest fan. I listened to Homicide probably 1,000 times on a loop when it came out. I was like, this is all from just me streaming because I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah, and like even talking, I mean, obviously that was like produced and co-written with Matt Squire, which I mean, come on, whether it's Panic at the Disco, Sum 41, I mean, Ariana Grande, like so many people. Do you think working alongside him that gave you a lot more confidence as well in yourself to put out a track like Homicide?
I think so for sure. I kind of felt, he's been in the game so long and he's worked with so many great artists and he's honestly just such a kind guy. I had such a great session with him and we really worked well together and he was so encouraging about my voice and just telling me that it was great and I really trust and believe him and it sometimes is really helpful to get that reassurance and from somebody who's so seasoned in the game and has really heard and seen so much. So that definitely gave me a little more confidence that my voice was great and I loved Homicide the second we made it together. It really just felt right. And yeah, he's a great collaborator. He was a really great, funny guy to work with too.
I love to hear that because a lot of times you hear these big names, right? And you're always like, again, I just know of the name and know who he works with, but I don't have that personal relationship. And I love to hear at the end of the day, like he obviously is behind the people he works with and supports them to be their best selves. So I love to hear that. And like, yeah, the track right away, I heard it. I was like, this is it. Like, I know everybody's going to say too, the Evanescence comparison a little bit, but I think it's you and your version of that. I don't think it's like, okay, this is Evanescence. I think that's what's really cool about it is you're taking maybe sounds from other things that maybe we've heard, but we're hearing it in a completely different way. And the overall style of it, I was just like, yes, we need more of this. And I loved that it came out on the 13th of February. So like right that like Valentine's, but like in a different way and it hit.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was Friday the 13th, which I thought was really funny because it's this like right before Valentine's Day, but also it's like a horror romantic kind of song. So it all felt very right to release it on that day.
And do you think too with like this track and critical like in this new era you're in, do you think that this was almost like the era you were always trying to get to like when you started or thought about making music?
Yeah, honestly, it's taken me a long time to figure out what the vision was, and I think that's totally understandable. Coming from a social media background and diving into the world of being an artist, you have to do some self-discovery. And so at the beginning, I definitely had tried to do some heavier songs, and I have some like in the back pocket on my EP, but they were never really the forefront of my music. I really was leaning on the pop rock, Avril Lavigne, kind of slow and cutesy rock vibe, and I just kind of changed my mind one day, and I've had a lot of people encouraging me around me. My team has been so helpful, and I said, I want to change my music and change the direction that it's going because I'm just not connecting with it anymore. And then the minute I released Critical and Homicide, it's been very well received, and I'm very grateful for that because I'm like, okay, this was the right decision. I think this resonates more with who I am as a person than the pop rock stuff, which I still love, of course.
Yeah, and do you ever think too, like I think for me, like obviously it was Avril Lavigne, it was Haley Williams, I'm not even gonna lie. Like I know everyone's gonna say that, but like those women in music that I kind of looked to, and that was like my generation. And I know there's still younger people getting into those artists as well. But do you ever think about like how you're kind of for this next younger generation of young girls getting into music, like you're that next generation of that?
Yeah, I've kind of thought about it. I really hope so too. One thought I have is I always saw, a lot of younger fans maybe came from TikTok and discovered my music. They all would come to my shows. And I think it is great that I get the chance to introduce heavier music to them in a way that maybe they weren't getting that before. Like you said, Sabrina Carpenter and like even Olivia. This is a kick farther than Olivia. So maybe they liked all of those songs and they weren't really sure what they're looking for. And the way I discovered I liked rock music was just by listening to rock music and then being like, oh, hang on a minute. I actually really like this and I like the energy. And all of those women in music have inspired me so much, like Amy Lee, Courtney LaPlante, Poppy, all of them, literally everyone. So I'm grateful if I can be that for even a couple people.
I know, and you were in I believe it was Our Space with Matt Batiste, who I just love and adore so much. I remember you mentioned Scowl, and I was like, yes, I love
Oh
Scowl.
yeah, I love
Um,
Snow. I have
and
so many in my mind. I get like
yeah,
panics.
oh, I guess if there was a bucket list of those women or just anyone for you to like get to play with, like who would be those bucket list?
I think it would definitely, of course, Haley Williams would be
Yeah.
up there. She was a huge inspiration to me starting out. I'm obsessed with Paramore. And then Amy Lee and Courtney LaPlante. Like I love Spirit Box and I love Evanescence so much. And they're just still like the music is so good and I resonate with it all the time. I've been loving the new tracks from Evanescence. And I also love Poppy. I love that she is, kind of the head of the new generation, like jumping into metal. And I love
Yeah.
that she's a woman doing it and has grown such a fan base and the music is insane and I love it.
Oh, it's wild to see. Like I remember when she started out, she was that poppy like bubblegum artist, and now
Yeah.
like what she's doing. So I'm like, yes, we need more of that. And it's even speaking of like playing music, you're about to on March 4th. It's you're supporting Dark Divine, I believe. Not Enough Space is on there, and maybe is it set for tomorrow as well?
Yeah.
So and that's so soon. So obviously you'll probably be playing Homicide
Mhm.
live. For you, what is it about playing live that you're really excited about?
I'm really excited just to show people my belting capabilities live. I've planned some like ad libs here and there, and I love connecting to the fans and people real time with the music. It's always just so exciting too to get to play new songs, and I've been very much like the head of my set list and what's been going on. So these are really like handpicked by me from the album, from some like older tracks too, and the newer tracks as well. So I'm just really excited to connect with them and to show people that, I can do it live too, and it's going to be quite a show.
Yeah, because that's the thing too. Like so many people, I don't want to call them the haters on the internet, but sometimes they are, and it's like always so great to like get that moment with your songs as well, and to kind of show like, yeah, I deserve to be here. I should be here. And that has to be so cool. Like I think you're coming to Asbury Park, so I'm like, hopefully, I don't
Yeah.
know what I'm doing that day. I'm like, I want to definitely see that because I think, too, like being with like Not Enough Space, who like they're a heavier band and they're taking over as well. So it's like I think you fit so well in that tour. And for you too, like, do you think like how do you overcome any nerves you may have? Because I could imagine there's a little bit of a nervousness, but excited, but like you're still excited as well.
Sure. Yeah, I kind of imagine it as like two personalities. I just like switch into a different person kind of on the stage versus in real life because I'm like to me it's kind of like playing a character. It's still me, but you want to be dramatic and keep people's attention and honestly in real life I'm kind of awkward. I keep to myself a lot. So I always call myself Hannah Montana because I have like designated a like talking and performing personality that, to be more open and, you mark here and then do your expressions and like I've learned what to do with the audience. So I've kind of trained myself because as a human, I'm very much like in the corner.
Yeah, right. Like I can only imagine. Like I think a lot of us too. We picture any musician that's like on stage of like, oh, that like that's who they always are. Like that's them. But 9 times out of 10, even when I've been around some musicians, it's like for the most part they're just like us that are like introverted a lot, and like this is
Yeah.
their time to express that. And I guess too, like, what do you think your younger self would think about like all this stuff happening, or even just like homicide in general in this era? Like, what do you think they would think?
I think she would freak out, honestly.
Yeah.
Even a long time ago, I wanted to be an influencer so bad. And it's like I always wish I could show that to my younger self and to show the music to my younger self because I watched so many Broadway shows and dreamed of it. And I sang karaoke in the basement every single day. And I even sang in my early days on the internet. And so I think she would just freak out. I don't think it was really anything I expected, even from the way I looked. I've done a lot of transformation over the years and it's taken a long time to discover myself. So I think she would kind of be like, who is that and what happened to you?
Yeah, and like too, I think, and even just bringing up the internet again and your following, and I'm sure again, people's misconceptions of you, but what do you think, what is something you wish that people knew about you as an artist?
I feel like people always question my integrity because I used to be blonde and, influencer, and I was alternative to some extent, but I just had the blonde hair and I was very focused on content. And once I switched and kind of changed my aesthetic a little bit and started discovering myself and making more rock music and really focusing on music full time, people just started to question me and not believe me because it wasn't what I was showing all the time. But again, with the internet, it wasn't all of my interests that I was posting every single day. I was still blonde and making my little skit videos and listening to Slipknot as I would get ready. It just kind of something I wouldn't share with the audience. So I feel like just people to know that like my heart is in the game and this is genuinely what I love and want to do. I wouldn't do it if, it's not an act. I'm like, I love all of this stuff. I love rock music and metalcore. I'm obsessed with it. So most people just know that this is like genuinely authentic to me.
You can tell that too. Like you really can. And like that's the thing. I think we're in 2026. We have to get away from that. Like if so, whatever like hair or the color they have, or if they don't look too alternative, you can still love something and it's still genuine. We have to get out of that of like, oh, there's no way. Well, they're a girl. There's no way they listen to Slipknot. There's no way. I've gotten that on mine. Like, I think I made like a reel once or something about like Corey Taylor and Slipknot and loving them. And immediately it was like Poser podcast and things of that nature. And it was like,
Oh yeah.
can we
Me too.
not? Like a dude would never get that. A guy would never get that if they posted like even if they posted like a Sabrina Carpenter, right? They'd be like, "Oh,
Mhm.
that's cool." Like we post something like that and it's immediately like, yeah, there's no way you really like that.
Right. I had just actually made a video along those lines. It was me just joking, saying I like to listen to metal as I'm like doing my hair and makeup, and it found the wrong audience. And they all were like, "You're so different." I'm like, "That's not, I didn't say that. I just said I like to listen to metal while I do my like little girly routine." And it was for the girls. And sometimes, they're like the gatekeepers of the music. And if you don't fit what they want you to fit, they're just like, "No, you can't come in." But that's not really how it works. You can't stop people.
No, you can't. And we shouldn't. Like we should be accepting of that. And that's why again, like why I thought it was really important because like I have so many different styles of music that I take on. And I think it's always important to show that like whether it's a heavier band or a softer band, like everybody has their own place and we need to support that. We don't, and all artists of all sizes, and it's really important. And before I let you go, I would love to know with 2026, let's manifest something. What can we manifest to happen this year for you?
I want to play a festival so bad. I beg every day for somebody to let me into a festival. It's just a big dream. I think it's going to be very surreal. I know I will get it one day. I've been manifesting it super hard for 2026. I would play any rock tour in any country, anywhere. I just want to play a festival so badly. It would be so much fun.
Is there a specific festival you're really aiming for?
I'd say Warp Tour is
Yeah.
definitely the biggest aim. A lot of them like So What, Download Fest, When We Are Young, Sick New World, like literally any of them. I'm not picky, but Warp Tour is definitely like that's the place for new artists, and for small artists. And I would love to play Warp Tour.
Yeah, like, oh, yeah, for sure. I could see you on a Warped Tour, even Sick New World. I could see you definitely there playing that. And I do. Are there any smaller artists that you're listening to right now that you would like to uplift?
Yeah, I always have so many. I'm friends with a lot of artists, so I'm like, here comes my list. My
Yeah.
friend Lolo
Mhm.
makes amazing music. I love her so much. I was just in her music video. Chandler Layton, also my friend, great music. Sophie Powers, very up and coming. She's hilarious. My friend Huddy is really great, makes music. Yeah, I'm like all of my friends I just like to uplift. And there's so many, even like Scowl, if you haven't listened to that band before, there are so many.
Yes. Oh, yeah. No, I had Lolo on, I believe at the beginning of this year, or like, yeah, I want to say like a couple weeks ago. Wonderful. And yeah, all those you just named, I'm like, yeah, check off the box. Yes, yes, yes. But oh my gosh, this has been so great. And I really appreciate you taking the time. And I'm so looking forward to that tour in 2026. And yes, let's hope for you on one of these festivals. That would be amazing to see.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me.
Oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely. Like again, the minute I got the email and I heard the homicide, and I've like been like paying attention all along, but I was like, yes, homicide's gonna hit for so many people that maybe like haven't heard of you or didn't like, maybe were like, oh, I'm not too sure. No, this one's gonna hit, and I just need to get it in their ears. So again,
Thank
appreciate
you.
you.
Yeah, thank you so much.